Hi, this is Talie Warulkar. I'm the anxiety coach for overwhelmed mothers. Welcome to my Exposing Anxiety interview series. Today I am joined by Elle, as part of her, who's going to be talking about her anxiety journey as part of a series of interviews that I am doing in order to take the shame lid off of anxiety. Elle is going to be speaking with us about the anxiety that she had surrounding her son's medical issues. Hi, Elle. Thanks so much for joining us. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Elle. I have an adorable, almost 3-year-old now. He's light of my life. Um, and he's very sweet, but he's had a lot of medical issues, and it was very nerve-wracking to the point where, like, I think my limit, we had 6 appointments in 4 days. So I was like through the roof anxiety, through the roof nervous about every little thing. But now things have like been calm for a little bit and we're kind of we're all happy now. Like we just get through it all. So I think that's kind of just a really important message to help put out, and I'm happy to share more of my journey.
Take us back to the beginning. Like when did all this start? How did you find out? What
Oh,
was yeah.
yeah. So it started out with we were at Tipa Chalav, Child Wellness, for those outside of Israel who might be listening. And it was his 1 year checkup, and they were measuring the circumference of his head as they typically do. And they said, "Oh, it's a little bit big. Here is a referral to your pediatrician
Yeah.
and go check in with him." And even after all of these wellness checks, I always went to my pediatrician because I trust him completely. He's one of the strongest advocates for children I know. Um, and so I went to him to check, and I brought him the note that said that there was this large head. And he looked and he measured and he said, "Okay, listen, legally and medically, I have to give you a referral to a neurosurgeon. You don't have to use it, but what harm can it do if you do
Yeah.
use it?"
Okay.
And so he also said that the neurosurgeon was a good friend of his. He went to medical school with him or he interned with him. I don't quite remember, but I know that they're close.
They're close.
Um,
So it's enough to
they're
trust. Yeah.
close. Exactly. It's enough to trust, especially when you have someone who you do trust in the medical
Yes.
world. And so we went. And I didn't have all of the paperwork from Tipachalav with his head growth, his the chart for head growth. And so at first he was like, "Okay, there's not much I can do, but come back in 3 to 4 months, and then we'll we'll look again and try to bring the papers if you can." So I went, I got the papers, I went back in 3 to 4 months, and he looked at the chart. He didn't really look at my son that time, which I was like, okay. I mean, I guess not much has changed physically, but looking at him, and he looked at the chart and looked up and said, "I want you to get an MRI." And I was like,
Okay.
okay. And that was actually the one appointment my husband didn't come with me, which I was okay with. I was a little bit nervous after he said you need an MRI, but it was like, okay. So since then, my husband's like, "I'm nervous now. I don't want to miss anymore. So I'm going to be coming along to everything else," which also adds in, like, like your co-parent's anxiety as well, which is also, I'm going to talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, And so eventually we got the MRI, and after learning how to like really work the medical system here, I think it was actually quite easy to get once you like know. I could explain a little about get to some tips and tricks later. Um, and we found out that he had two cysts in his brain. They're called arachnoid cysts. One is quite small at like around 1 to 2 centimeters or something, and one was over 12 centimeters, which is like half his head. Like think
Yeah.
about like your 1 year old. Like at that point, he's around 1.5, right?
Yeah.
And like the minute that we went for the results in the MRI and I saw it on the screen, I'm like, why is half his brain gray and not there instead of, like on a normal MRI, it's like black and you see like
Yeah.
the squiggles
You
in the
see
brain.
it. Yeah.
I'm like, where's half his brain? I was like, there's no way he wasn't born. I had a high-risk
How was your
pregnancy.
son during this period of time? Was he acting different? What was he
A
like?
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna get to that soon. I'm just like, I was very confused when I saw the MRI results because I'm like, I had a high-risk pregnancy. I had ultrasounds every other week and blood tests every other week as well. I think there was 2 weeks total. I didn't have any appointments when I was pregnant, and they would have seen something. Like I even spoke to my gynecologist about it. He's like, "What do you mean that the doctor's saying it was from before he was born? You had tests all throughout, and even like up to 3 days before he was born, we would have seen something. Like they could see a
Yeah.
cyst on an ultrasound when you're pregnant, if it's like a centimeter even smaller, they can see a cyst. So you definitely he did not have that when you were pregnant. Um,
So it
we don't,
developed afterwards. Okay.
yeah, so we're still not quite sure how, but also at this point, it's actually okay not knowing how because it happened. It's sometimes just a thing. If there's like big trauma to the head, then yes, it can happen. But I was with him that whole first year, and there were no major falls when he wasn't gone. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think nothing happened like traumatically, thankfully. I know it's not the same for everyone. Um, but in our case, thankfully, it wasn't from trauma. So just probably gross. It's just an
Yeah.
arachnoid cyst is basically just excess CFS, cerebral fluid, that's just in a pocket in the arachnoid layer of the brain. So also, so it's like it's not inherently dangerous, because
Yeah.
it's part of a body. It's a body part that's supposed to be there. It's just not supposed to all be in one
Area.
sack. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be flowing through you. Um, so at least it wasn't like a foreign, like something that wasn't supposed to be there. Um, so we so then we were going through a lot of different things. He's also was delayed in his speech, so we went through Hipachot Hayelin and a
Was
bunch of
was it
other
like
things.
putting any pressure on his brain or anything?
So that was the big debate between the neurologists and the neurosurgeons. Um, the neurosurgeon said it's inevitable. We're going to have to do surgery at some point. He wasn't quite sure when, and we were talking with the neurologists. Like the whole neurology department was just like on our case. I mean, they do this every so often whenever they have kids who need both neurosurgeons and neurologists, that they have these meetings together and with the child present, without the child present. Um, and so, and obviously the parents, because
Yes.
children
Yeah.
can't be with their parents at that young age.
Yeah.
Um, in the end, there was actually concern of pressure. It was especially putting pressure on the parts of the brain that control speech. So that was also like a lot with the speech delay and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. We're still working on the speech. Right now he's in a communication school, a Mount Tikshuret.
Yeah.
And next year he'll be in Ganeriat Tikshuret. But
Wait,
so we're
he's where is he now? He's 3?
he will be 3 in June. So yeah,
Fine.
basically. Um, so he had so many of these things. We had appointments. We had, oh boy, okay. Overall, I think the tally was 3 MRIs, 2 CTs, 1 lumbar puncture, 2 visits to the ER, and 2 brain surgeries, all in the span of like a month and a half. I mean, the 3 MRIs, 2 of them were scheduled from like one was the year before, one was 6 months later, and then one was after the surgeries. So the MRIs were like the more routine thing than everything else. Um, and it was very nerve-wracking. My anxiety was through the roof.
Well, before you start talking about that, can
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
start talking about when you originally found out, like, okay, this is a bigger problem than just
Mhm.
he's got a bigger size head kind of thing. And
Yeah.
you're just going to your pediatrician as a precaution. Can you start talking about the like when did the anxiety start and how did it affect your everyday life?
Okay, so when we first found out, like the diagnosis of arachnoid cyst,
Mm.
immediately the way my anxiety works is I just go into research mode, almost kind of like fix it. And if I know something I can't be the one fixing it, but like I have to have someone else, like a doctor, fix it, I go in and do all the research. No, I
Yeah.
don't go tell the doctor that because I've spoken with doctors before and they're like, do not tell us you did research on this because we will just look at you and say, get off Dr. Google.
Get off
And
Dr. Google. Yeah.
I totally understand that. And I actually very specifically like phrase my Google searches in a way that I'm not going to get Dr. Google, but actually get like proper information and like research papers from medical professionals about whatever I need to look up, you know? Because if I just go like, do I have this? I'll end up on WebMD and it'll say, and you will die. Because that's all WebMD is. It's like, you
Yeah.
have a sneeze. You sneezed from dust today? You will die in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, so I've
Right. The
kind of
medical papers. Yeah.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
learned to look at like proper resources and not just I saw this thing on Instagram. I saw this on WebMD. I saw this here. I thought
On
like
your standard TikTok. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
like very even if it's like an accredited certified licensed doctor on TikTok, you can only take with a grain of salt because they don't know your case. They're just explaining a general thing and they're
Yeah.
like, um
To
so
talk to us about that anxiety, like how it affected your everyday life, even like outside of the medical appointments, like you're out you're shopping, you're whatever it is, you're at work, like
so whenever I was like away from him. Like if I was at work, because okay, when he was first in Ghana, he was in Ghana around the corner from us, and I was home most of the days, so I was able to just like if he needed something, I could be there in a second.
yeah,
But if I'm at work, which was around 30 minutes away, and he needs something, he's like, okay, then he's gonna, have to wait for me to be able to sign out of work and take around 30 minutes to get home, give or take, plus whatever traffic there might be.
yeah,
And, like in my head, especially I have specifically really bad time anxiety. I'm so nervous about timing. I will tell people like a little earlier instead of a little later.
yeah,
I've calmed down a lot over the years, but when it comes to things like my son, I'm still not calm with my time anxiety. So I'm
timing,
like,
and that's
okay.
exasperated probably with the medical condition as well.
Yeah, especially if it's like, oh, he's not feeling well. Because even if he had an ear infection, which should not be related to the cyst at all. It's like, okay, so I have to go make sure I could get another appointment and that it won't mess up with that other appointment and that we have to do that. And like, scheduling was such a thing. Like, I was talking to one of the social workers at Bechut Hayeled and I showed her my calendar on my phone and she's like, what is this?
Yeah,
She's like, I've never seen a calendar like this. But to try to balance out a lot of that anxiety, I made sure that I took a lot of time to try to relax, which admittedly is not my strong suit.
okay,
Um,
yeah,
uh,
but you took the
you know,
time out. Yeah,
I took time out, even especially with my son. I'm like, you know what? We have nothing this afternoon or whatever. Let's go get a smoothie, or
yeah,
let's go get a pastry from the local bakery or something. Or, he loves to paint. So I'm like, hey, you want to take out some paper and paint right now?
there's something
Um,
positive with him, positive
Something
connections. Yeah,
positive with him. Like there are definitely days that I've just like, I can't do anything with you today. Let's just turn on some TV and eat some yogurt and call it a day.
it
Um,
sounds to me like this essentially became a full-time job for you. Were you still
yeah,
working at the time? Like, how were you
I
managing?
was. I was. So because I was very thankful that I was working just one day a week.
Okay.
And it's not a job where I can take home with me because pediatric dental assistant, unless I'm
Yes, you
taking
need to be
people
at
home.
site. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So thankfully I don't take my work home with me. Um, and but like I was trying to like distract myself by helping other people with things. I was trying to stay organized and on top of everything by I actually made a Google document of my son with his name. And each individual folders. I put all the summaries of all the appointments in there that I got from the doctors. And I broke it down by date, by which doctor. So I had like, you know, a bunch from the neurosurgeon, but I wrote down the dates on each one. I had all the Hippochot Hayelid things in one folder, and I broke it down by the neurologist at Hippochot Hayelid, by the social worker, by the this, by the that, everything,
Now, it
everything,
sounds
everything.
to me like you were thrown into this whole anxiety situation and you found ways to cope, just firstly with research, that's proper research, as you mentioned, but also like keeping yourself organized as opposed to having things all over the place.
Yeah, but then where I was really organized in one place, I was letting it fall in another place. So like, you know, piles of laundry, toys all over the living room, dishes in the
Yeah,
sink. I
yeah.
was like, I don't have the energy to do this, but it's making me anxious seeing all the dishes piling up, but I don't have the physical or mental or emotional energy that I have to spend it all to make sure that this Google Drive is so pristine and perfect. And actually, I showed my pediatrician who was really like, beside from my husband, my pediatrician was my rock through all of this. He called up certain doctors and got me some appointments earlier. He helped with whatever he can. He also, the best thing about him is I would have all these appointments and I'm being thrown all these medical terms and being told this and
A
that
whole
and
new language. Yeah,
and so I went to my pediatrician a lot of the time without my son. Sometimes some of these appointments were, my son adjacent because he wasn't there, but I was.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, can you explain can you translate into parentese? He and I made a term like parentese, and he's like, yeah, I could move them from medical to parentese because he's a pediatrician. He knows how to talk to parents, especially with anxiety. And so he sat and he translated it all for me. Forget about the Hebrew to the English. He also translated just like, okay,
The
so what
English
they're
to
saying.
like everyday language, parentese. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, okay, so what they're saying here is, this. He's like, oh, you do need this test, but they didn't tell you outright because they wrote it in the summary part and it was buried in there. I would have him help me go over all the summaries and everything. So it was just, finding at least one good doctor on your team that you could rely on is so important. So important. Whether you go through the healthcare system or you pay privately or whatever it is really helpful. And I actually
I
feel,
just want to say at this point for anyone who's listening, one of the ways to help yourself when it comes to anxiety is having someone on your side,
yes,
whatever that may look like,
yes.
in whatever
And especially,
circumstances. Yeah,
I'm going to add to that, especially someone who's not related to you
yeah,
or in your life every day, because, whether you have a spouse or a co-parent or whatever your situation might be, or even, your own parents or your siblings or whoever you want to
yeah.
lean
They're
on,
emotionally involved, so it's harder for them to be
they're
removed.
so
Yeah,
involved and they'll just try to like say, no, it's all okay, because they might not know what else to say, but someone who's not there, a therapist, a doctor, a coach, a
somebody on
whatever,
your side. Yeah.
somebody else who's on your side who can help advocate for you. And if they can't advocate for you, they can tell you how to best advocate for yourself.
Somebody's
I
got your
think,
back.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's so important. And it's like, it's really important to find that. And it's, you know,
yeah.
um,
How did
so
you
yeah,
handle that anxiety on an everyday basis? Is there
everyday
something?
basis.
Yeah,
I just kind of had to keep busy on days when we didn't have appointments, which were few between. Um, it was like, so I had to just kind of uh, like, because if I didn't keep busy, if I just sat down and watched TV myself all day until I had to go pick up my son from daycare, I would end up overall feeling bad about the day because I didn't do anything. And even though my
yeah.
husband will point out, no, you took time for yourself to relax. I'm like, but I could. I could have been doing something. I could have folded laundry. I could have something. And he's like, he helped me point out that like I was so emotionally overwhelmed and everything. And, so I mean, no, we definitely had some of our disagreements, and we definitely, it was tough for both of us, but it was just like I had to keep on top of so much. Like even he missed a lot of work for a lot of these appointments because he wanted to be as involved as he could be. There were some appointments where I said, you don't have to come, like when he went to OT and speech therapy. I didn't need him
Yeah.
there. It's fine. It's routine also. That was like every single week we went. I'm like, you don't have to miss every single week. You miss for the big appointments, for the
Yeah.
neurologists, for the neurosurgeons, and like any large test we have, an MRI, an EEG, whatever we might need. And so that's also one thing we agreed on. It's like, yes, you need your person with you, but you also have to know like when is it too much? Sometimes two people is too many. Um,
Did you find that both of you had anxiety and you hit off each other?
Sometimes, yes, definitely. But like also because sometimes we put things from our to-do list, like from my to-do list onto his to-do list and his to-do list on my to-do list. Like when he did miss appointments, I had to go get child sick days for him from work.
Mm.
Um, and actually because of our situation and how many appointments everyone needed, and this is a little tip everyone should know, your pediatrician or family doctor, if it's someone older, can actually override the amount of parent sick days you have because you only get like a certain allotment.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know he did that till he told me later on. He's like, just so you know, like, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. They're probably hitting the limit soon. He's like, no, I took off the amount. So now it's just between his work. If his work saying is too much, then that's up to them. But you get like, I think six per a year or something, or per having, I don't remember what it is. And
Yeah.
you can take that limit off. You can ask for it to be taken off.
So there's no
So
limit, and you're essentially saying that it's unlimited.
yeah, yeah, the pediatrician can remove the limit so that because the coupa can only give a certain amount. They can only
Yeah.
give let's say, whatever the number is. But if they know there's special circumstances, the pediatrician can take off that number so you can have more for the
That's a
child
very
for
good piece of information to know. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, so it's really like that's why I say you have to have someone who's there, advocate for you, who will sit and listen to you, and help you advocate for yourself. Like there was one point when I had postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety, more anxiety. Like I think my postpartum anxiety was higher
Wait, it
than
was
my
with this baby?
yeah. This is my only one so far.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Wow, you
and
got really thrown into it. Okay.
I really
Yeah.
got thrown into it. And so I one time I was so stressed. And one of the many times I was so stressed, I went to my pediatrician crying, like literal tears on my face. I said, it feels like my postpartum anxiety and depression are coming back again. And he's
Oh,
like,
it's
one
all
second.
mixed
He
into
walked
one.
out of his office. He walked around the corner to my family doctor's office. He said, I just made an appointment for you at the family doctor so she can give you some temporary anxiety medication or whatever. You guys will figure out what's best for you. But I just made an appointment for you. You're going to go see her when you're done here in 15 minutes.
Good.
Like it
That
was
sometimes you
just
just
like,
need someone to take you, just to do it for you.
yes, yes. And I think he can sense that I wouldn't have gone to the doctor on my own. Not that I wouldn't have, but I didn't feel like I had time. Like I was like, okay, even just going to the grocery store, I'm like, okay, I'm going to the grocery store.
Emotionally
I'll be there
consuming.
for,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll take me, 20 minutes to get from there to the gun if he needs something. Which thankfully he never had to be picked up from the gun because of this medical thing. He was able to still go to gun.
Yeah.
And then whatever. And finally, we got the approval for surgery. And
This was how long ago?
the first surgery happened in December of
Just now.
2024. Yeah.
Okay, just now. Yeah.
Yeah. And it went well at first. So, okay, with arachnoid cysts, there are two main surgeries that they'll try. They'll try what's called a fenestration, where they just make a little hole in the cyst and let it slowly release. Like it won't all. come out at once, all this fluid. It will come out slowly, slowly, especially the larger the cyst, the longer it takes.
Yeah.
Um, and the reason why, because I know this can be a question, well, it's a cyst, why can't you just remove it? Because it's just a fluid-filled, sack of whatever. Because it's part of a layer in the brain. It's the arachnoid layer. So you can't remove the actual cyst without taking out part of the brain. So if you have a cyst in the brain, usually you cannot remove it. You have to let it drain, and it drains at its own rate. Um, and they can't just pop a big hole and let it all spill out at
No.
once because just the
No.
brain is
Yeah.
we know so much and so little about the brain. It's amazing. Um, and you just don't want to risk it. So he
You
was
were with him in
fine
the surgery or you were waiting outside?
waiting outside. I don't think they allow family members to be inside the surgical rooms. I could
Yeah.
just imagine how much worse he
The
honestly,
anxiety.
I was in labor for 48 hours, right? And the surgery itself was like around 2 hours. I thought the surgery would be longer. I thought it'd be like 6 hours, but they told us like 2 hours, 2.5 maximum.
Yeah.
And I told my husband, I said, those 2 hours were worse than the 48 hours of labor. He's like,
Yeah.
I'll remember that if we have another child. I'm like, no, it's different. But it was so much more, my anxiety was so much higher. And I already had high anxiety about giving birth in general, but like those 2 hours, I it's like time stood still. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like it's crazy. Like anytime that like your child has surgery, no matter the surgery, if it's something so routine, not routine, if it's something so simple, more complicated, anytime I feel a child has surgery, you just freeze, you know?
Yeah.
Um, or any loved one. It doesn't have to just be your child. It could be a parent, a sibling, whatever. But like it's so it's so nerve-wracking. And and he was pretty okay after the first surgery. There's like I was a little concerned the first like week, but then he started acting a little more himself. And then around 2 weeks later,
So what
so
you
this
this
is
is
only
January now. Are you in
yeah,
January?
we're in January. Yeah, we're in January. We're like 4 to 6 weeks after the first surgery. He he usually very good balance and he's really very good, but he slipped and bumped his head. Um, and he didn't seem concussed or anything. And he fell asleep like after half an hour of bumping his head. But I was very nervous and very like, okay, I think we should go to the hospital. My
Oh,
husband's like, I don't know, I think he's fine. No, I really think we should go. And it was like, whatever. And then later that evening, he vomited 20 times in 5 hours or something like that, right? So that's like 5 times an hour, which is a
yeah.
lot. And I'm like, I'm not waiting. We're going to the hospital. Even have to get like retroactive paperwork.
Yeah.
Uh, this involves going. The good thing about going to the hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning is you get the best parking spots. But other other than that, not much fun being there. Also, like it's a little quieter, so you're seen a little quicker at
What city
3
are
a.m.
you in? I forgot to ask you. What city is all
Oh,
this?
I'm in Givat Shmuel, and we were
Right.
in Ichilov for everything. Um, like Ichilov from when I was pregnant and giving birth,
Mm.
all this stuff is just where we found what where like the doctors work best for us. Now we've been to other hospitals around here too, and they are wonderful. But also, when our doctors have connections with other doctors, it's
It's
typically
better
an
you just go straight
escalation.
there. So 1 second. So you said that you went to the hospital. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And then what happened?
So he actually didn't really vomit much once we got there, so it's kind of like, of course, now that we're here, you're acting fine.
Yeah.
But he wasn't because he was the medical definition of lethargic, like really not moving. Like he is a kid who rolls around in his sleep all the time. He was not even moving in his sleep. I even tried like giving him my phone and he loves my phone. He knows where all the games are. He knows where Spotify is, Netflix, whatever. And he was like, he didn't even push it away. He wasn't even like interested. He was just like not doing
Nothing.
anything. And if he wasn't asleep, he was really like crying. He was just like, even the doctor said like, no, he is medical definition lethargic right now.
Okay.
Um,
So what happened after that?
so we had a CT and we saw that cyst was getting
I feel like I'm
smaller, but
going through that anxiety with you. I can
no,
like,
it's
yeah.
see, I'm like calmer talking about it now, but like if you would have like spoken to me a few months ago, I'd be like, and then, but now it's like I have
No.
time to process and I've, whatever, but it's like, okay, I'm like, this is just something that happens. Whether it should or shouldn't is a different question, but like it does happen, and so you have to go with it. Um, so we had a CT scan and it showed the cyst was smaller, but it was showing like a little bit of pressure. So they said, look, for right now, go home. If he starts vomiting again later today, then come back. So we actually ended up going back. We were released around like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and we were back there like 10 p.m. that night because he was just really not being himself again. He was very, very not with it. Like wasn't eating, he was sleeping the majority of the day, like everything, everything,
Yeah.
everything. We went back, they did another CT scan, and the neurosurgery department saw us both times we were in the ER. And it's actually funny, some of them recognized like, oh, you were just here for surgery a few weeks ago. Like they knew us. They
You
already
get,
knew us. So
yeah.
that was definitely a positive. Like again, like should anyone ever have to take their child or a loved one for surgery or something, and there's some complication after, always go back to the hospital you're treated in.
Yeah.
Yes, they can share information between hospitals, but if they already have it or they have
Personal
a team
connection.
the doctor on your team saw you then and
Personal
sees you
connection.
now, it's like instantly they'll know a little bit more about your case. There's already an edge, you
Yeah.
know? Unless,
The
of course,
personal,
you really had like a trauma at that other hospital and you don't want to go back, then of course don't
yeah.
for your own health. But if you had a good experience, please go back, or just an okay experience. Like if you have
Yeah.
something, okay.
It's a personal
Anyways,
connection. So
yeah,
one second. So
yeah.
I mean like I'm assuming like now things are like on the up, on the better. Can I
Not
assume
quite.
that? Not quite. Okay. I can't
No,
assume that.
because
Okay.
this
So
time we were in the
where
hospital.
are we today? Yeah.
Yeah, oh, right now, right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I
How's
think
he
now the
now?
story. Right now, yes, things are definitely on the up. We are much happier. My son is thriving now. He's still
Mm,
working on his speech, but that's, you know
okay.
what? He had a 12 centimeter cyst that was putting a lot of pressure on the speech part of his brain. It's going to take a little while,
Yeah.
you know? So we're working on speech, but you know what? He normally doesn't like, he didn't have a lot of, like, when he was in Gone before all the surgery, he wasn't interacting with children. He wasn't really being like social. Now his Gonna note are saying he has friends. He is going and interacting with them. Like I see some videos sometimes. We see pictures. He is like
Yeah.
going and playing with kids on his own, like he's initiating it on his own,
On his own accord.
which
Yeah.
he never did until like even 2 months ago. I think 2 months ago was the first time that we got like a message that said he was really being interacted. I was like, what? I was stunned. Like, I mean, just going to the park on Shabbat, and he is like, there, like he's just running and joining kids he doesn't know playing basketball. Not that he's playing basketball yet because he's 3, but he's just like running
He's
alongside
getting
them,
involved. It's a different
getting
person.
involved.
Yeah.
It's a different world. He's also like, before he was like, oh, I don't really need to go to there's like 3, 4 parks all near each other. He's like, I don't really need to go to the park across the street. Now he's like, come take me to the park across the street. He's not like speaking this, but he's
Yeah.
communicating it in his own way. And he's like, take me to the park across the street and let's go on this and that. And like he's getting way more confident. which is
Yeah.
amazing. And it's like it's the best thing to watch him grow. And it's funny, I was actually talking this morning to someone who's basically like a second mother to me, and I showed her a video of him like walking to Gone this morning because he likes to walk by himself, and she's like, I think this because I was like he was walking over this little dirt hill,
Yeah.
like it was like little like next construction pile, and he was just walking on it. It was like not even high up off the ground, and this person, my second mother was like, I don't think this video is about him. I think this video is about you, enjoying how far you've come and how, like,
Yeah.
you're enjoying this and narrating for him. And I'm like, yeah, but it also the narrating helps with communication and putting words to sounds, helping with speech. She's like, yes, but this is about you and how far you've
You could
come with
see, I
it.
could see your face. I could see how your whole posture has changed. I could see how your face has changed, how your
Yeah.
energy changed, just thinking about him
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Oh man, like, because as I said, he was the medical definition lethargic. He had a lumbar puncture when we were in the hospital the last time, and it showed that his pressure was much higher than it should have been, like the pressure in his brain, because
Right.
that's part of
And
the lumbar
then where
puncture.
he is today, nearly three. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and like
Um,
even the second MRI showed like a significant reduction in the cyst.
Elle, can you tell us what are you doing anything today to help yourself with that anxiety? Like now?
Um, Now just mostly trying to live off of a schedule,
Yeah.
which I know sounds really crazy because like you need schedule and especially kids need schedules to like help. And
But
we
is that
definitely have
helping you?
yes.
Oh, so it's
Yes,
not
like we
crazy.
definitely
It's helping you. It's not
yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
exactly. Like we are still on schedules, of course, bedtime is still the time it is and
Yeah.
dinner time and whatever. Like we still have consistency and structure. But like the fact that I don't have to keep running around to 6 appointments in 4 days. I have to drive between, you know, Tel Aviv, Givat Shmuel, Petach Tikva, because that's where the majority of our appointments were in those three cities. Also, Hod HaSharon. We had a lot of appointments in Hod HaSharon. And it's not like, oh, well, you have to go do this appointment that you didn't see in this Sikum, and you didn't have to go do that appointment. It's like,
Wow.
I'm just kind of living, and I'm making sure that I'm doing the best I can for him. And even if people say, oh, but you could be doing, it's like, you think I could be doing better, but you don't know what I have and haven't been doing. This is amazing for me right
You're
now.
here now. You're here now.
Yeah.
You're
It's like,
here
so
and now.
I still have toys all over the living room some days. Okay.
That's just standard parenting. Like just
I still
everything
have dishes and
coming.
laundry piling up. Okay, fine. I get
You
them
mean like
done.
every other like normal home that has children? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
unfortunately, there are people who have higher expectations. Sometimes it's me, but I just tell myself it's okay.
Listen, part of being a parent, okay,
hmm
is lowering those expectations
Right.
and knowing where to prioritize. We have this much energy, time, resources, and it's knowing where to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like
Um,
one of the other
do
things
you,
I've started also was an anxiety medication. I went through several anxiety medications, and I found one, and my doctor actually said she gave me the lowest dose. She said cut it in half so it's even smaller, and then see if you want to build up. And honestly, I haven't eaten more than half of that pill, and like I know there are people who need all different types of
everyone is
medications,
different.
higher doses,
Yeah,
lower doses, whatever, and there's no shame. And just because like right now the low dose is working for me, I know that maybe in a few months it won't, and I'll have to up it. And that's
yeah.
fine. And like it's okay to go through also different medical changes as well for yourself.
Help yourself. Do what you
Yeah.
need to do to help yourself. Okay. To wrap up, do you have a message for anybody who's watching this right now who has medical issues with their loved one, with their child, or anything? Any message for them, specifically on how to deal with all that anxiety?
Yeah. Yes. Take it. It's hard to take it one appointment at a time or one piece of information at a time, but take it for what it is. Ask any questions you need to any trusted medical professional who can help answer or guide you or, just explain things to you like you're a 2-year old.
Yeah.
There's no shame in asking for that. And you don't have to pretend to know and understand everything. Make sure you have support within your immediate circle and outside your immediate circle. So whether the inside is, you know, your spouse or your own parent or a sibling or something or a really close friend, make sure you have someone who's totally
Who has
third
your back?
party who has
Yeah.
your back, therapist, coach,
Yeah.
medical professional of like, someone on your child's medical team. Even
Yeah.
though they are living through it with you, they're not
You.
with you all the time.
Yeah. That also not
They know
you.
your
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know your case, they know who you are, they know what you're doing, but they also have this outside perspective.
Thank you
And
so much.
yeah,
Thank you so
I
much for
think
your time. Really appreciate it. Really, thank you for sharing your story with us. If anxiety has affected you in any way at some point in your life and you'll be willing to be interviewed and share with us your journey, please be in touch with me. Details will be at the end of this video. Thank you so much, Al. Really appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you.